attitudes needed for effective participation in everyday living and prepare the students. Ito yung importante sa lahat is to prepare the students, their skills and attitude, or to prepare them for further education. Okay, not only the skills, not only the attitudes, but to further their education and the world of work, so that they make worthwhile contribution to the society. Wait lang i-ano ko lang yung yung nag-in. Si Miss Castrillo. Okay. Okay. And as I've said a while ago, these goals is to provide opportunities for the individuals to develop their skills and attitude, okay, that they needed for an effective participation in everyday living. Because as we all know, mathematics is, it can be applied, always applicable in our daily life situation. Hindi lang basta natin siya pag-aralan lang, kung hindi talagang it exists in our everyday life. Sabi nga, laging katuwiran, paggising mo pa lang, math na kaagad. Okay? Kasi paggising mo, unang titingnan mo yung oras. Di ba? So, which means to study mathematics is very much important in our life. And what are the roles, or what is the role, or what are the mathematics roles in the Philippine education? First, we have the facilitating participation, okay, in productive life activities. Puro may nag-in na naman. Mamaya ng konti ha. Next is to providing a way of making sense of the world and serving as means of communication and operating as a gateway to national progress. These are the different roles of mathematics in Philippine education. Okay, and what are these mathematics for facilitating in productive life? We have to making wise purchases. Okay. Next is measuring distances, finding locations. These are the different productive life activities in mathematics, okay? And estimating expenses, and of course, anticipating future problems to find solutions that is in early enough. Okay, that is according to Ohena and Tan in 2006. Okay, in a way of making sense of the world, we can say that more than just a set of isolation facts and concepts, mathematics provide us a ways of knowing, thinking, and understanding. Okay. So being able to make connections among the given information to generate a solution and verify its accuracy is surely something that students can apply even in non-mathematical settings. And what are these? Okay. First, the mathematics provides students with the essential skills in reasoning. Kailangan essential skills in reasoning is very much important to provide these subjects to our students. Hindi lang siya basta sasabihin natin, oh, ito, kailangan nyo maintindihan ito, kailangan nyo itong pag-aralan, kailangan nyo itong kailangan nyo itong ma-master. No, we have to impart to them their skills, to improve their skills in terms of mathematics. They need to make a decision making and problem solving. You get me? Yan ang sense ng mathematics in why we study this, why this subject is very much important to study. Okay, to help them make sense of many aspects of our rapidly changing world, sabi nga. Okay. As a means of communication naman, mathematics provide us with a powerful means of communication. It is because an objective language that allows us to express quantifiable relationship concisely. It also formulates representation to model and interpret both physical and social phenomena. Okay? Why did you say that? Anybody? Sabi niya, it formulates representation to model and interpret both physical and social phenomena. What do you understand about that? Yung katulad ng isang subject natin, do we need to represent each problem using a model? Anybody? Hindi ko kayo nakikita kasi yung screen ko ang ano ko ha, kaya if you want to answer my question, okay, just say your name. Do you think kailangan kahit wala ba tayong ire-represent ng model dito, maiintindihan kaya ang problems na ating pinapasolve sa bata? What do you think? Kasi as a means of communication. Anybody? Anybody? Tingnan ko nga.
Ma'am, ako po.
Okay. Sino kaya iyon?
Carta po.
Okay, Carta. Can you just share something?
Kailangan po kapag magtuturo po ng math, kailangan po niya ng representation, gaya nga po nung nakalagay doon. Dahil po, para po mas maintindihan po ng mga estudyante yung tinuturo po natin sa math. Kasi kung wala po nun, hindi po mapapadali yung pag-intindi ng bata sa math.
Yes, very good. Okay? Kung wala kasi tayong ire-represent as model in our problem, hindi talaga tayo maintindihan kahit anong explanation mo sa bata. Tulad ka halimbawa, when you want to find out the height of a building. Okay? Sabi mo, yung position mo nandito, pero nakatingala ka sa building. How can you prove to your student na ang kinatatayuan mo mula sa lugar mo papunta doon sa pagtingin mo sa building na yun ay nag-form siya ng right triangle at nagpo-form siya ng angle doon. Kung hindi mo siya i-represent using a model, using a figure. Did you get me? Kaya, ang mathematics, sabi niya, isa siya sa means of communication by representing a model. Okay? Next is the unifying and integral thread that runs through the sciences and facilitating the connection of ideas in an increasingly information and knowledge-driven society. So those are some means of communication in mathematics so that mathematics will understand and the students or a person will understand and comprehend what does this subject mean or this particular problem mean. Am I made myself clear?
Yes po.
Sabihin niyo lang sa akin ha, kasi hindi ko masyado kayong nakikita. Hindi ko kayo nakikita kasi yung screen ko ang nakikita ko. Hindi kasi ako nagdalawang ano ngayon eh. Hindi ako nagdalawang gamit ngayon. Dahil hindi naka-charge kasi yung cellphone ko kaya hindi ko ma-ano din ang aking hindi ko ma-open din ang aking camera ngayon. Okay. Now, the following are non-negotiable principles. Okay, principles that represents the fundamental ideas put together by the developers of the framework or an educational framework in mathematics. The first principle is being mathematically competent means more than having the ability to compute and perform algorithms and mathematical procedure. Do you have any idea about this? For example, you are a mathematically competent student. You're not just, if you are mathematically competent student, you not just only know how to compute and perform algorithms. Hindi lang kayo basta-basta alam nyong mag-compute kayo. Okay? But you are also able to pose and solve mathematical problems and apply these mathematical skills and reasoning in other subjects or in your everyday experiences. Hindi porket alam mong isolve ang isang problem, alam mong isolve ang isang given sa math, but then hindi mo naman siya i-apply in real life situation. So you cannot say that you are mathematically competent. Did you get me that? Did you get me?
Yes.
Kailangan you know also on how to interpret this or how to use this in real life situation or in your everyday experience or experiences. Okay? You are also able to see the patterns in diverse phenomena and connect mathematics to other learning by understanding the interrelationship of mathematical ideas. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang siya kailangan mo rin siyang interrelated or i-interpret or i-incorporate in some other ideas. Para sa ganon, mas madali mo siyang maintindihan o maiparating sa sa mga students mo. Okay? Para mas madali nilang maintindihan. Kasi when you are teaching mathematics, you're not just only teaching the theory of this, but you have to relate always the numbers, the content, the topic in mathematics into real life situation. I know most of you are competent when it comes to solving. I know most of you competent when it comes to making or solving the problems. But the question here is, how will you deliver this particular topic to your students so that they will understand you clearly? Ito natin, dito natin masasabi na kailangan magre-relate ka rin into real life situation so that the students will understand you better. Hindi lang basta sinolve mo siya, hindi lang basta binigay mo yung process of solving, but then, ang most important thing is always relate the topic in real life situation. Okay? Next principle is the physical and social dimensions of mathematical environment contribute to one's success in learning mathematics. Okay, the students need learning environment that is safe. Alam naman natin yun. Para sa ganon, they can have, they will explore. Okay? A safe environment should be one of the best thing that you can contribute to your students. Para sa ganon, makakapag-explore sila. They are not just only on that in stay in one place. Pwede rin silang mag-explore sa ibang lugar. For example, hindi lang kayo basta nasa classroom lang. Pwede mo rin silang ilabas sa kanilang study room. Pwede kayong maghanap ng mga bagay doon para i-relate ang topic mo. For instance, yung pag-solve ng area. Okay? Para sa ganun, mas maintindihan ng bata kung ano ba or kung paano pag-solve ng area, pwede mo naman silang papuntahin, ilabas din sa kahit lang sa labas ng room. Although, kailangan lang ng maraming pag-iingat doon kasi you are still liable to your students pag lumabas kayo sa room. But then, make sure na hindi sa labas ng class, not in or outside the school premises. Kung magsasolve man kayo, most especially yung sa physics, although physics is even in trigonometry, yung solving ng angle of depression and angle of elevation, pwede mo silang kahit doon lang sa tapat ng building ninyo or sa tapat ng kung may puno man sa harapan ng school ninyo or sa loob ng school ninyo, pwede doon para may application din ng real life situation. That is what we meant by principle number 2. Okay, a physical and social dimension of mathematical environment. Okay, the third principle is the mathematics is best learned when students are actively engaged. Yun nga ang sabi ko kanina, mas maiintindihan ng bata ang lesson kung ini-engage mo sila mismo sa iyong discussion. Hindi lang laging ikaw lang ang nagsasalita sa discussion ninyo or sa klase ninyo. Let them also engage. There are many or different strategies that you can apply in your class so that the students will participate actively in your discussion. For example, yung cooperative learning natin o yung kilala ng mga bata ang group activity. So kapag ine-engage mo sila sa lesson, mas maintindihan, mas maa-adapt nila ang topic at the same time, makikita mo ang kanilang participation during your class. Okay? Para ma-enjoy din nila ang lesson. Alam nyo naman, kapag mathematics, usually or most of the students, sasabihin nila, mahirap yan. But let them know, because of you, let them know that mathematics, this subject is enjoyable. May enjoy din nila. Nasa motivation ng teacher yon, and at the same time, yung magandang strategy ipapakita mo sa mga bata or gagamitin mong strategy sa mga bata. Marami tayo, bukod sa cooperative learning, meron din naman tayong yung sinasabi nating jigsaw. Okay? Meron din yung ano ba yun? Aside from jigsaw, yung they will move from one station to another station. Okay, nakalimutan ko lang. So next time, pag naalala ko, sabihin ko iyon. Okay, so let's move on to the principle 4. Okay, principle 4 is a deep understanding of mathematics that requires a variety of tools for learning. Principle 4, tuloy na sabi ko, namimiss ko yata ang aking principal. Principle 4 is a following from, it is also connected from principle 3. It is mathematical tools allows the student to be actively engaged in learning mathematics and their deepen mathematical understanding. So kung may mga, kung meron mga tools, mathematical tools, na pwedeng gamitin sa topic ninyo, paggamitin nyo sila. For example, nagpapa-compute ka ng, pinapakuha mo yung area ng classroom mo. Tapos, paano makakompute ng bata kung wala siyang gagamitin, di ba? For example, yung meter stick. Through the use of meter stick, masusukat nila yung area na yun. And at the same time, marami mga technologies na pwede nating i-apply sa kanilang pagko-compute. If you, most of the students now in senior high school, we allow them to use calculators. Yun nga lang, may restriction lang. Hindi namin pinapagamit sa kanila. Okay? Hindi sila allow na gumamit ng programmable calculator. But then, sa elementary, if I'm not mistaken, bawal pa silang gumamit ng calculator. Nang sa ganon, yung concept ng math, ma-apply pa nila or matatanda nila at matutunan nila iyon. Mostly lang ang ginagamit doon yung mga measuring devices. Yun ang mga tools na ginagamit for them to learn the topic in mathematics or the lesson in mathematics. Okay, so which means mathematics use mostly mathematical tools in solving problems. Kahit naman na kayo kahit college na kayo, you are still dependent in calculator, diba? So aside from calculator, mostly, ano pa yung ginagamit na tools sa pag-solve or sa mga topics, lessons in mathematics usually? What do you think? Anybody? Hello, gising pa ba kayo? Anybody? Ano pa yung mga mathematical tools na pwede natin gamitin? Aside from the measuring devices, aside from calculator, what do you think ang pwede pang gamitin na mathematical tools?
Hello po, ma'am.
Yes. Sino yung ikaw? My dear? Tingnan mo ha. Okay, Rika Mora. What are other yes, dear.
Naranasan ko po ito ng high school po. Pinapagamit po kami ng blackboard and whiteboard po para po for
solving. Okay. Board or whiteboard for solving. Okay. Siyempre, alam naman natin, di ba, yung board and whiteboard is one tool in learning when you learn. Di ba, isa siya sa mga ginagamit natin para mag-improve din ang learning natin, especially sa discussion. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mora. What else, aside from that? Are you using computers? Sino ba? Okay, sino ikaw? Kasalan? Kasalan. Yes, sir, kasalan.
Ma'am, hindi po ako masyado sigurado, pero yung consider po ba tools po yung tables po na ginagamit for solving like statistical tables.
Statistical tables.
Yung may mga value po na hindi po kaya solving.
Yung mga formulas din. Diba? Ano lang, yung baga, isa lang siyang reference. No. Pag sinabi natin mathematical tools, yung mga nakakatulong sa atin when solving. Did you get me? When you solve mathematics. But then, this kind of, mathematical tables, mathematical tables. Okay, we can consider those, but not necessarily as competing mathematical tools. Okay, kasi yung mga nakasagot doon, pwede i-express mo na lang eh. Kasi nakalagay naman, nakasulat doon ay yung mga formulas. Am I right? Those are formulas? No. Okay. Yung ginasabi natin ng mga tools for learning in mathematics, yung mga makakatulong sa atin to solve the problems. As I was saying, for example, the measuring devices. We have the ruler, we have meter stick, yung mga yun, ano pa bukod doon. Yung measure ng volume, yung mga cylinder, gano'n. Tama ba? Pero, yung kanina na sinabi mo yung tables, pwede natin measure yun. What if yung teacher niya ay payagang gamitin yun? Gusto na ng teacher ay i-memorize na lang ang mga formulas. Diba? But it's not a major tool that they can use. Okay? What about computer? Do you agree on computer? Most especially yung Excel? Yung computer. Tama? Lalo na kapag saan siya mas-useful? Excel. Statistics, diba?
Statistics pa.
And pagmana ng sum, diba? Lalo na kapag ginagamitan mo siya ng weighted mean sa statistics, diba? So, nakalimutan niyo talaga ang the best, yung computer. Kasi nag-stick kayo talaga na nawalan kayo, na-block na kayo, na nasabi ko yung calculator no? So, do we have another one aside from that? Okay.
Pwede po yung yung mga software po na nakakatulong po, like SPSS po, yung mga ganun po.
Yes, those are also even though kasi kasama na siya sa computer, di ba? But then, yun, sa modern ngayon, nagagamit na siyang tool in solving mathematics. Diba? At saka yung mga different app din na like for example, yung pag-graph, marami na. Okay. Those are the different tools that we can use. Okay? So, shall we go on to principle? Principal na naman ako. Principle. Principle 5 in mathematics should be assessment in mathematics must be valued for the sake of knowing what and how students learn or fail to learn in mathematics. Okay. Do you have an idea about the principle 5? Assessment in mathematics daw must be valued for the sake of knowing what and how students learn or fail to learn mathematics. Most of the students, especially college students, are particular about this. Through assessment, yung pag-assess sa inyo through the different assessment like quizzes, exams, yun yung mga prelim natin. Through that, okay, malalaman natin, mga teachers ninyo, malalaman din ninyo, or through making an assessment in mathematics, we will be able to know that yung ma-evaluate namin kung kayo ba ay may natutunan, if you learn something or you didn't learn anything from the topic that was discussed or that was tackled. That is the principle 5 in terms of educational framework in mathematics. So this is one of the most important principle. Kasi when we assess our students, this can give us an idea if the students, kahit kayo, somehow, ito rin ang magiging basis ninyo kapag kayo ay educator na. Ito ang magiging basis ang pag-a-assess sa estudyante para malaman ninyo. Through this kasi, ma-evaluate mo kung may natutunan ba sa'yo ang mga bata or wala. Kung magre-repeat ka ba ng lesson or hindi. Through the use of or through conducting an assessment. Did you get me now? Maliwanag ba?
Apo.
Yes, ma'am.
Opo, ma'am.
Do you think
Yes, ma'am.
making an assessment is very much important?
Yes
po,
po.
ma'am.
Yes,
Opo, ma'am.
Diba? Gaano siya ka-importante? Ano sa tingin ninyo? Kahit ikaw, ma-evaluate mo ang sarili mo dito eh. Paano mo
Apo.
masasabing ma-evaluate mo ang sarili mo dito? By how?
Ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Ma'am, hello po.
Hello
Ay,
po, ma'am.
ano po ba? Ay, si Period.
See?
Ma'am, Miss
Periodico.
Periodico po. And
Periodico.
sa assessment po ng bata, doon po natin or ng estudyante po, doon po natin malaman kung gaano po tayo ka-effective as a teacher po. So kung failed po ba yung bata or passed po, doon po natin ma-improve yung ating way ng pagtuturo, yung strategies natin, malalaman po natin yun kapag na-assess natin sila.
Very good. Okay? So, doon mo malalaman kung yung strategy mo ba na ginawa, na kinandak sa kanila or in-apply sa kanila ay effective. But then, kung napansin mo that most of your students failed in your subject, kailangan bang sisihin ang sarili mo pag ganon? Kailangan ba sabihin mo, hindi ako effective teacher? Kasi mararanasan
ma'am.
nyo yan somehow. Yes. May I know who you are, my dear?
Miss Periodico pa rin po.
Okay, Miss Periodico.
Hindi naman po ibig sabihin na pag failed yung students is failed din yung teacher. Ano po, no, ibig sabihin po nun, bago po tayo ng strategy or ng way of teaching the lesson po, ganon.
Pero kailangan mo bang sabihin sa sarili mo na hindi ka talaga hindi mo talaga forte iyan?
Hindi naman po,
Hindi.
kasi po,
Kailangan bang panghinaan ka ng loob pagdating sa ganun? Kasi
Hindi
mararanasan nyo
rin
talaga
po.
yan. Hindi rin. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, ito lang ang way mo para sa ganun, pwede kang, tulad mo nga sabi mo kanina, pwede kang mag-iba ng strategy. Okay?
Yes po.
Pero, what if kung papalit-palit ka ng strategy? Paiba-iba ka na halos ng strategy, nagawa mo na. But then, the result is still the same. Ganun ba? So, kailangan ba sabihin mong, hindi na ako effective talaga kasi lahat na ginawa ko na? Mararanasan nyo yan. Yes.
Hello po. Ay,
Hello
Yes.
po. Very
Yes. Veridiano. Miss Veridiano?
Opo. Feeling ko po hindi naman po natin kailangan sisihin kung kunwari nagawa na po natin lahat yung mga strategies na pwede natin gawin, yung interventions. Kasi po, marami naman pong factors na nakaka-affect po sa learning ng bata. Hindi lang po yung teacher factor po. Pwede po yung environment po. And yun po.
Yes. Kasi there are many factors that affect the learning of our students na kung saan yun ang kailangan mong hanapin, na kung saan yun ang kailangan mong alamin. Possible, merong mga bata dyan na nahihirapan sila kasi hindi enough or kulang sila sa time. Lalo na't kung natatambakan na sila ng mga gawain. Although, doon ka naman papasok sa kanila. Doon mo naman sasabihin sa kanila at i-boost ang confidence nila na sabihin mo sa kanila na tawag dito, kailangan alam mo yung time management mo or i-apply mo ang apply ka ng time management mo. Yung ganun. Okay? Kailangan i-boost mo pa rin ang confidence nila. Kasi most of our students, kapag ganun din naman, kapag alam nilang lagi silang mababa ang nakukuha nila sa subject natin or sa subject mo particularly, okay? Or kahit hindi pa math iyan or kahit anong subject, doon papasok ang sinasabi nating counseling sa bata. Kailangan mo kasing malaman kung ano yung nararamdaman ng bata, bakit nag-fail siya sa klase mo. Okay? So, hindi kailangan sisihin ang sarili natin. Hindi kailangan na i-blame mo ang sarili mo na hindi ako effective teacher. Kailangan mo lang kailangan mo lang alamin kung ano ang root cause ng problem. Okay. Do you understand?
Yes po.
Okay. Sabihin sa akin kung kung mabilis. Okay. The sixth principle is the student's attitude and beliefs about mathematics affect their learning. Ito, madalas talaga. Okay? Madalas ito napapansin or ito mismo, usually ang pinapakita ng bata, yung attitude nila sa math at yung paniniwala nila sa math. Pag sinabing mathematics, kagad ang connotation nila, mahirap yan. Okay? Kaya nabubuo ang educational framework. Kaya may framework tayong ginagamit sa mathematics because most of the students may attitude sila lalo na kapag hindi sila ganoon kagaling sa math class, hindi sila masyadong sa numbers, may mga students na may phobia sa number. Kung na-impart na sa kanila ang attitude na iyon, tayong mga teacher naman ang mas makaunawa and at the same time tayo ang magbigay sa kanila, mag-boost sa kanila ng confidence nila. Because kapag hinayaan natin sila sa paniniwala nilang iyon at hinayaan natin na ganun ang attitude nila sa pagdating sa math, yung kanilang belief na mahirap ang math, honestly speaking, it will affect their learning. Hindi na nila papansinin or mostly hindi na nila pag-aaralan. Aasa na lang, ang magiging attitude nila usually ay aasa na lang sila sa classmates nila na kumopya ng homework nila. Hindi na nila aasahan ng sarili nila, hindi ang classmate na lang nila. Kasi may belief sila na mahirap ang math. So in that case, doon natin tulungan, i-lift up ang bata sa kanilang maling paniniwala na iyon. And the last principle is mathematics learning needs the support of both parents and other community groups. Okay, kailangan kapartner din natin ang magulang pagdating sa learning ng mga bata. Always, lagi kayong makipag-coordinate, lagi kayong laging i-inform ang magulang about yung performance ng anak nila sa pagdating sa grades nila. Okay? Any question? Wala akong okay na, no? Pag silent means yes.
Ma'am, ako po,
Yes, dear. Sino kaya siya?
Miss Periodico po.
Miss Periodico.
Ayan. Ma'am, ask ko lang po, what if po, ganun nga po, kunwari po yung bata po, may teacher po siya, no? Tapos, or kaya po tutor, tapos po parang ang dating po ng parents is inaasa po lahat sa tutor na akala po nila is matututo yung bata sa tutor. Paano po yung pag ganun?
Kaya nga dapat may constant communication tayo sa parents. Okay? Paano po iyon?
Kunwari po, busy po yung parents, tapos di po nila natututukan yung bata. Tapos po, expect po nila is, talagang natututo po ng yung bata. Ang meetings lang naman po is hindi rin po araw-araw.
Doon, in that case, pwede kang mag-send ng message sa parent or mag-send ng letter inviting them to see you in the school. Kailangan makipag-meet sa iyo para pag-usapan ang performance ng anak nila pagdating sa subject mo. Or kung hindi man sila makapunta, sabi mo nga busy sila, meron kasi tayong tinatawag na home visitation. Wala tayong magawa talaga as a teacher. One of our responsibility is to visit. Okay? To conduct a home visitation. Naalala ko pa nga kami, talagang lagi kasi ang tinitingnan sa atin, teacher's factor lagi Bakit wala kang ginawa? Bakit nag-home visitation ka na, ganito pa rin ang performance ng bata? Bakit mababa pa rin ang grade niya? Kailangan kasi defend mo lahat iyon Kailangan, kahit may complete record ka pa, kailangan mo pa rin i-defend iyon. Walang katapusang bakit lagi. Dahil ang teacher's factor na yan, tayo lagi ang kanilang sinisisi. Sa atin lagi ang sisi, sa atin lagi ang bagsak, sa ating mga teachers. Tandaan nyo yan. Kaya dapat hanggat maaari, sabi nga, may kasabihan tayo, habang may buhay, may pag-asa. So habang nasa sayo ang bata, habang bigyan mo ng chance or tawag dito, gumawa ka ng paraan para matuto siya hanggang sa makapasa. Dahil sa iyo pa rin ang isisisi at ibabagsak lagi sa iyo ang sisi. Yun ang tinatawag nating sinasabi nilang teacher's factor lagi. So you have to do something always. Kung hindi makapunta si magulang, ikaw ang pupunta sa kanila. Kahit nahabulin ka pa ng aso, naranasan namin yan. Naranasan ko yan, habulin ng aso nung hahabulin ka talaga ng aso kasi dahil sa sa pag-home visit namin sa students namin. Kasi alam na magulang pumapasok Ngayon pala sa school naman wala, hindi pumupunta. Ngayon pala ang estudyante naming iyon, pumapasok siya sa International School of Computer Shop. doon ang kanyang school. Kaya hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin sa bata na doon ka kumuha ng grade mo. Kasi pag ikaw ang binalikan naman ng magulang noon or pag ikaw ang binalikan ng mga boss natin, sasabihin nila, kasi ang laging katwiran sa atin, ikaw ang may alam, ikaw ang may pinag-aralan, ikaw ang nakakaalam at nakakatanda. Ikaw lagi ang umunawa. Hindi pwedeng sabihin mo na kumuha ka ng grade doon. Hindi pwedeng sabihin mo bumagsak siya kasi hindi siya pumapasok. Bumagsak siya kasi hindi siya gumagawa ng homeworks. Kasi ang balik ng sisi sa'yo pa rin. Ang sasabihin nila sa'yo, anong ginawa mo? Bakit siya bumagsak? Okay? Yun ang pakalagi tandaan ninyo, ha? You have to do something. Always. Kuha na?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you po.
Okay? Kaya, magti-teacher pa kayo? Ha? Paano kung sasabihin kong maraming situation na ganyan? Magti-teacher pa kayo? Ginawa mo ng lahat, nagdrama ka pa, para lang, maintindihan lang. Okay? Nagdrama ka pa sa harap ng magulang. Tapos, yung bata, kahit na ilang beses mo na minsan patawag na masipag pumunta sa school ang magulang, pero sa bandang huli, hindi na siya pumupunta, hindi na siya bumibisita. Ayaw na niyang pumunta, nahihiya na, nagsawa na, dahil ang anak niya, nahihiya na siya sa ginagawa. May magulang naman talaga sasabihin niya sa iyo, ikaw ang teacher ba't hindi ikaw ang gumawa ng paraan? Talaga mararanasan niyo yung gano'n or hopefully hindi niyo maranasan yung gano'n. Kasi may mga magulang talagang gano'n magsalita. Ikaw ang teacher dapat alam mo kung anong gagawin mo. Kaya nga namin in-enroll sa'yo ang anak namin para matuto May mga gano'n silang katwiran talaga. As a teacher, kailangan mong depensahan ang sarili mo nun. Okay? Kasi madalas, kapag yung mga teachers ko gano'n ang pag pinapatawag namin na magulang at inihaharap sa akin, may mga gano'n may mga gano'n ako nararanasan sa harapan ko mismo sinasabihan gano'n teacher ko. Kaya lang, as head, sasabihin ko, ipapart ko yung magulang doon, sabi ko, na igalang nyo po ang uniform namin. Nasa harapan ko kayo, kaya dapat ayusin nyo rin magsalita. Hindi lang kami ang may karapatang magturo sa anak ninyo. Kaya namin silang turuan kung ano man ang mga dapat nilang matutunan sa subject namin. Pero pagdating sa values, hindi lang kami ang dapat magturo sa kanila ng magandang asal. Kasama din po kayo. Kaya wag nyo kaming sisihin na puro sa amin lang ang may problema. Sa harapan ng magulang, ganun ang pwede ko sabihin. Kakampihan ko pa rin ng teacher ko. Pero pag alis ng magulang, sa ako naman kausapin ng teacher ko. Sa ako siya tatanungin, ano bang ginawa mo? Bakit bumagsak ang bata sa iyo? Kailangan lagi kasing ready sa ganong tanong na bakit. Dahil ano man ang katwiran mo, kapag sinabi mo, ma'am, nagpaano na ako sa kanya, nagpa-remedial na ako, binigyan ko na siya ng mga intervention, binigyan ko na siya ng mga activity. Nandun pa rin ang tanong sa iyo ng bakit? Yun pala nagpa-intervention ka na, nagpa-remedial ka na, bakit bumagsak pa rin ang bata? So, you have to be ready. Kailangan, para masagot si bakit, dapat may mga supporting documents ka lagi. Hindi pwedeng verbal lang ang iyong mga katwiran or ang iyong mga evidences. Hindi pwedeng verbal lang. Dapat palaging meron kang supporting documents when it comes to this situation. Nang sa ganun, sabihin mo, pwedeng sabihin na nagpaparemedial ka, hinahanap mo pa siya, hinahabol mo pa, tumatakas ng gate. May ganun akong teacher Ma'am, hinabol ko pa siya, tumawid pa nga ng gate para lang makalabas, para lang hindi maka-attend ng remedial class ko. kailangan may supporting documents ka. Ang ginawa niya, pinicturean talaga. Pinakita sa akin, nakasama sa mga report niya sa akin. Yan o ma'am, nakapicture talaga, sabi sa akin ng teacher ko. Eh, natawa ako doon. Kasi, kahit ano nga naman gawin niya, kahit anong pilit niya, ayaw pumasok ng bata. Yun nga lang, tinanong ko pa rin, anong ginawa mo nung tumawid na ng bakod? Ma'am, malang naman habulin ko, sabi niya. Sabi ko, hindi mo kailangang habulin. Patawag mo magulang para alam nila, pakita mo yan, sabi ko. Eh, hindi niya pinatawag ang magulang. Tapos, yun ang naging kulang mo doon. Sabi ko sa kanya, kailangan inform lagi ang magulang kung ano man ang nagiging problema mo sa bata. Okay? So, kailangan lagi natin silang i-involve ang magulang. Kaya nga sabi niya, learning needs the support of both parents and other community groups. Sino yung mga community groups na ito na tinutukoy natin dito? Hello? Are you still there? Sino yung community groups na tinutukoy natin dito? Do you have any idea kung sino yung mga community groups? Ang mga LGUs natin, the local government unit. Okay? Kasi pwede kang mag-seek din ng tulong sa kanila, ng support sa kanila kapag may kailangan ka. Halimbawa sa project mo. Yun nga, yung project mo ng remedial classes, halimbawa na ganun. Paano mo kung ang problema mo to, natakbuhan ka ng bata. Okay? Pwede kang mag-seek ng through your GPTA. Yung GPTA mo, itap mo siya. Kailangan ko yung supportan ninyo. Kahit malang pamirienda sa mga estudyante ko para sumipag silang umattend ng remedial class ko. Okay? So through that, meron kang communication at may support kang makukuha naman din sa kanila. At yung ating yung GPTA mong yan, lalo na kung active siya, magsisik siya ngayon ng help or support sa LGU, kahit kay barangay kapitan lang. Okay? So, yun. Pwede mong itap sila. Okay? Involve them always. Especially kung may program kang ganon. Okay? Question? Any question? Hello guys. Do you have any question? Para alam ko, bago tayo magpatuloy. Okay, naiintindihan ako doon. Okay. Alam niyo na ngayon kung ano yung papasukin niyo. Especially mga math tayo.
Yes po.
Idea na po.
Natatawa ako sa inyo parang napipilitan na lang kayo ngayon. Sigurado kayo. Pero, class, sinasabi ko sa inyo, enjoy talaga ang pagtuturo. Sa una, talagang malaking adjustment yan. May time na umiiyak ka, na sasabihin mo, may mga memes ka na ginawa ko na ang lahat. Pero kulang pa rin. May mga memes kang ganun. But then, at the end naman, you will enjoy, especially when you show your love and care to your students. Maganda ang ibabalik sa iyo ng mga bata. In that case, especially ang ating subject ay hindi, sabi nga kanina sa isang principle number 5 yata iyon. Yung isa, yung about the attitudes and the attitudes and beliefs, principle 6. Okay? Especially kung may mga ganong paniniwala sila or belief sa math, you can change it. Pwede mong ibahin iyon. May mga estudyante din ako na nag-teacher na ngayon, ang sarap naman pakinggan na sabihin nilang, ma'am, dati hindi po ako magaling sa math, pero naging teacher kita, ma'am. Kaya po ako naging teacher na medyo ng math kasi you influence me, sabing ganun sa akin. Ang sarap pakinggan nun. Parang yun ang sinasabi kong or yun ang pwede nating sabihin ng return of investment natin. Meron tayong kahit papaano na bago sa pamumuhay ng bata. Okay? May katanungan pa? Before we proceed to lesson number 2.
Wala na po.
Okay.
Wala na po, ma'am.
So, shall we proceed now to lesson number 2? Rest muna. Sakit na nalalamunan ko Okay. In lesson number 2, we have the mathematical empowerment, the critical and analytical thinking as the goal of Philippine mathematics education. Can you just please explain to me the model of mathematical empowerment? Anybody? We have the mathematical content, a triangle, a mathematical content nasa taas, cognitive demands, and cognitive values. Okay. Nandyan si content sa taas, sa baba ay cognitive demands and cognitive values. Pero sa gitna ng ating triangle, we have the critical and analytical thinking. What does this model implies for, or this framework implies for? Dali, nagpo-point ako sa mga for recitation. Kaya tinatanong ko ang pangalan. Any idea about this model? Anybody, please? Hello? Hello? Sabi niya, critical and analytical thinking. Ito ba ay dinidemand natin? Try to analyze this. Is this a very demanding in mathematics? The content of mathematics, yung critical and analytical thinking na ito. Naririnig pa ba ako? Nandiyan pa ba kayo?
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes po, ma'am.
Opo, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Akala ko wala na kausap eh. Okay. Can you give me your own idea about this? The content is there.
Ako po, ma'am.
Yes. May I know who are you, Mr.
Karta po.
Carta ulit. Mr. Carta.
Pagkakaintindi ko po, sa mathematics po na subject, kailangan po talaga na magkaroon ng ang isang bata ng critical and analytical thinking po. Kasi hindi po siya kagaya ng ibang subject. For example, English and Filipino subject na hindi naman po sa madali, pero madali po siyang maiintindihan ng bata. Unlike po sa mathematics na kailangan pong pag-isipan mabuti ng bata gawin niya para po ma-solve niya yung isang equation o isang problem sa mathematics po.
Yes, exactly. Yun. Okay? Our students nowadays, they require stronger mathematical knowledge, the skills and the values, okay, to pursue the higher education. Listen, katulad ng sabi ni Mr. Carta, in any mathematical content, critical and analytical thinking requires in solving. Kahit ano pang topic yan sa math, yung critical thinking or analytical thinking, it applies always in solving. Kasi kung wala sila nito, kung di sila marunong mag-analyze, they cannot solve the problem. Okay. When we talk about critical thinking, according to Scriven and Paul in 1987, it is the intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, and or evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experience, reflection, reasoning, or communication as guide to belief and action. Sabi niya, intellectually disciplined process by skillfully conceptualizing. In applying, lahat ito, in applying, you need to analyze mathematics to synthesize and to evaluate the information that you gathered. Okay? Or when it is based on your observation or experience. Also, a critical thinking is an active thinking in which we evaluate and analyze information in order to determine the best course of action. As you can see, evaluate and analyze. Laging may analysis ang kanyang description. So which means when you analyzing, critical thinking is conducting. Ito yung na-acquire mo. When you analyze something, when you analyze the problem, kahit simpleng problem lang yan, kapag ina-analyze mo, minsan kasi, pag sinabi nilang napakahina naman ng, ng understanding mo, napakahina naman ng intindi mo. Pag ganun, yung kapag sinabihan ka ng ganun, ibig sabihin parang, tawag dito, parang ang tingin mo sa sarili mo ay wala kang alam. Di ba? But then, if you try to analyze first, yun ang importante lagi sa isang problema, kahit anong problema pa yan, kahit simpleng problema mo sa buhay, you have to analyze first kung paano mo siya unahing isolve, kung paano mo siya isosolve ang problema. Hindi pwedeng pabara-bara ang iyong pagdidesisyon. Hindi pwedeng ang pagsosolve mo ay pabara-bara lang. You know what I mean when we said pabara-bara? Yung basta-basta lang. Hindi pwedeng ganun ang pagsosolve ng isang problem. You have to analyze first and apply as much as possible all the things that you have learned. You need to apply all the things that you have learned when you actually, when you analyze, after you analyze the problem, then apply all the things that you have learned. Okay, that is what we call a critical thinking. Kailangan, kapag nag-a-analyze ka ng isang bagay, yun ang sinasabi nating meron kang nito. Okay, sabi nga, napaka-critical naman ng sitwasyon. So kapag ganun ang sinasabing napaka-critical naman ng sitwasyon, kailangan you sit down, di ba, para pag-usapan ng problema. When you talk about the problem, you are analyzing on how to solve this critical problem that you encountered. Okay? Critical and analytical thinking skills are it encompasses the following skills as well as the communicating mathematically. Okay, when we communicating mathematically, a person who thinks critically and analytically should be able to communicate mathematical ideas using a precise language in mathematics, which includes the ability to use a special vocabulary symbols of mathematics, and it represents or it describes a mathematical ideas. So if you think, sabi nga, critically and analytically, you should be able to communicate mathematical ideas. And by this use of mathematical ideas, it precisely the language of mathematics that includes the use of some vocabulary and symbols of mathematics. That is what we call when you communicating mathematically. Reasoning and making mathematical connections. Okay. Reasoning, when you, a person who thinks critically and mathematically, sabi ko nga sa inyo, can use or it is able to make, ano ba tawag doon? Yung reasonable. Yun, yung nangangatwiran na sasabihin ko sa you. You will make a reasonable and logical statement. Kaya nga, reasoning and making mathematical connections. You have to make a reasonable and logical statement. It will include actually the ability to use both deductive and inductive reasoning skills in order for you to make meaningful statements para mas maintindihan, para may thought, meron ng mahalagang, ang tawag doon, maayos or meaningful statement. Okay? And also, I can justify steps in mathematics procedures. Hindi pwedeng yung ano lang, yung when you solve math, as we know, or when we are solving mathematics, we solve through procedure. Yung step by step ang pagsosolve natin. Okay? Next is the problem solving. Pinagsama ko na yung reasoning and mathematical connections. And the next is problem solving. A person who thinks critically and analytically, it is often successful in solving a problem. So kapag daw ikaw ay nag-iisip muna at nag-a-analyze muna ng isang bagay, there should be a successful, or there should be a successful solving a problem. Okay. And this problem solving skills, it includes the following ability. First, we have to recognize the problems exist, identify or define the problem. We have to propose the ways to solve the problem, act on the proposed solutions, and determine that the problem is solved. Recognize that a problem exists. Alamin mo muna, is the problem exist? Or baka ito ay na-solve na. Baka ito ay nakahanap na ng solution dito. Okay? Identify or define the problem. Kailangan malaman mo kung ano ba talaga ang eksaktong problema. Hindi pwedeng isosolve mo na kaagad kung hindi mo pa alam kung ano talaga yung problema na kailangan mong isolve. Okay? Propose ways to solve the problem. So magbigay ka ng ng sarili mong idea. I-propose mo 'yon. Kung paano ba ang sarili mong paraan para ma-solve ang problem na iyon. Then act on the proposed solutions. Hindi lang basta pin-propose mo siya. Hindi lang basta i-recommend mo siya. Kung hindi, kailangan gawin mo rin. Para sa ganon, yung proposal mong iyon, malalaman mo kung yun ba ang solution sa problemang na-find out mo. Then determine that the problem is solved. Kailangan alamin mo rin kung nag-work ba yung proposal mo. Para malaman mo kung nag-work iyon, you have to determine kung na-solve na ang problema. Kailangan alaman mo kung na-solve na ba or hindi. Kung hindi na-solve ang problem sa ginawa mong proposal na iyon, baka sakaling may mamumungkahi ka ulit. Pero kung sakaling na-solve na yon, then your proposal is successful. Okay? Do you understand? That is how we solve a problem. Kahit i-apply natin din sa ating pagsosolve din ng mathematics, kailangan i-recognize mo muna kung yung problem na yun it exists. Kailangan malaman mo, kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, sa ating problem solving, you should know what is being asked. Sabi ko, kasi kailangan mong i-define kung anong ang totoong problema. And then, saka mo lang malalaman kung ano ba ang pwede mo, or saka ka lang makakapag-suggest kung ano ang pwede mong gamitin. Like in a problem solving that we solve in mathematics, when you already identify what is being asked in the problem, you have to propose an equation. Para malaman mo na yung equation mo is correct, is to solve by making a solution. And then, determine the problem, that the problem is solved. Kung tama siya, you have to check. Diba yun ang mga step-by-step ang procedure na ginagawa natin when we solve a problem? So, yan din if we apply this in real life. Okay? Okay. What are the mathematical contents? So in the Philippine Mathematical Education Program, at the elementary and secondary level, it aims to teach the most fundamental and useful contents of mathematics and organizes these into the following strands. Una, from numbers, counting muna sila, nagbibilang, bilang muna ang bata, and then yung number sense, ano ba ang halaga ng mga number na ito? Bakit kailangan ko siyang pag-aralan? So that they will be able to understand, especially yung mga elementary students natin, they will be able to understand kung alin ba, which is bigger, which is smaller. So hindi lang sila mag-i-stop na marunong na silang mag-count. They also be able to understand the sense of numbers. Okay? Measurement. Aside from this, kailangan maa-apply na nila ngayon. By how? By measuring. And geometry, patterns, functions hanggang pa higher level na siya. Functions and algebra and data, and analysis and probability. Okay, this organization of contents was influenced by the 1995 hanggang 2003 na TIMSS studies. Do you know what is TIMSS na ito? Are you familiar with this? Just recently lang or last 2018 yata nagkaroon din ng competition. Okay, this is the trends. When we said TIMSS, kailangan particular kayo dito, especially you are mathematician, a future educator in mathematics. Okay? T stands for trends. I stands for international. M, of course, you know what is M. Mathematics. And sciences is the S. And another S is study. So, recently, the TIMMS studies about this following mathematical content. Okay. Minsan kasi nag-aano sila dito, yung TIMSS, meron din sila mga proposal kung ano ang mga bagay na kung saan. Kaya I know TIMSS, parang isa siya din siya yata na basis sa ating K-12 curriculum, if I am not mistaken. Kasi yung last 2003 na competition, Philippines was ranked second to the last when it comes to mathematics and science. So, isa ito sa naging basis ng K-12 curriculum natin, yung last 2003 na international competition conducted by TIMSS. And at the same time, kaya kung napapansin ninyo, yung mathematics and science lang ang tawag dito, yung spiral curriculum lang ang application niya, sila lang, yung dalawang subject lang na ito ang may spiral approach sa ating K-12 curriculum kasi ang basis ng K-12 din natin ay based on the study or based on the last competition that was conducted by TIMSS. Okay. Clear? Okay. So what are these mathematical content? Ano yung content ng mga to? Okay, like in the numbers and number sense, these are the general objectives. To read, write, and understand the meaning order, and relationship among numbers and number systems. Yun ang sinabi ko kanina. And understand the meaning, use, and relationship between operations on numbers. Yun na, pumapasok na si number sense para malaman na it applies the operation on numbers. Choose and use different strategies to compute and estimate. Okay. It will come up na into different strategies to compute and estimation. In measurement naman, what do you call this? In measurement, the objectives in this particular topic, nawawala na yung boses ko. Okay, the general objectives in this particular topic is this strand in basic education should enable the students to know and understand basic attributes of objects and the different systems used to measure these attributes. Different systems, for example, yung ating IS or yung International System of Measurement. Bakit sa US ang ginagamit instead na tawag dito yung sa measuring volume, instead na milliliter, instead na milliliter ang mga measuring nila sa volume, meron silang nakalagay na ounces, 'di ba? May ounce, may tablespoon, ano pa ba yung mga ginagamit nila? May quarts, bukod sa mga iyon. Like for example, kapag bumili ka ng soft drinks, may nakalagay 12 ounce. Diba? So instead na ang gagamitin nila dito ay milliliter or ml, yun ang ginagamit naman sa US. Samantalang sa ating IS, sa international, usually ang ginagamit lang natin milliliter, kilometer, meter, pero sa kanila, may specification sila sa bawat measuring ng area. May hectare, may mga ganun sila. May acre, yun. And then, to understand and interpret readings from different instruments and measuring devices. This is the other objective of measurement, to understand and interpret readings from different measurements. Sabi ko nga kanina, yung mga unit of measure ng bawat bansa ay magkakaiba. So, sa first topic yata ng grade 7, if I am not mistaken, or yung second topic ng second unit ng grade 7 mathematics, it will discuss the measurement. And to choose and use different strategies to compute and estimate and predict effects on measures. Okay. Next, in geometry, okay, to explore the characteristics and properties of 2- and 3-dimensional geometric shape and formulate significant geometric relationships. Dito maraming proving kang kasi ang geometry mostly talaga it was formulated based on the real life situation. Okay. That was actually formulated by the father of geometry, which is Euclid, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, they use the coordinate geometry to specify locations and describe spatial relationship. Meron akong dito sabi, meron akong konting tinanong dati sa aking nung sa seminar kami about sa K-12 din yata, the definition of a parallel lines, yun ang inano ko sa kanila, yun ang tinanong ko. A parallel line, sabi ano ba definition? Two lines having the same direction. Tama? Form the same direction. And it has no, sabi, it has, and they will never intersect, sabi, yun ang definition ng parallel lines. But then, pagdating pagdating dito sa geometry, especially sa spherical geometry, mag-iiba ang definition ng parallel lines. Kasi diyan na i-discuss about yung mga parallel lines na sinasabi natin sa globe. Okay? Next objectives is to use transformation and symmetry to analyze mathematical solutions, to use spatial visualization. Okay, dapat kasi talaga nakikita mo yan. Okay, reasoning and geometric modeling to solve routine and non-routine problems. Reasoning, sabi ko nga sa inyo, kailangan ipoprove mo lagi na yun, yung nakita mo ay it exists. Hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na ang point is a circle. Okay? Kasi pag sinabi mong point is a circle, ang point, wala naman siyang length. It's just a point. It has no length, sabi nga sa definition niya. But then, yun ang until now, yan ang pinuprove nila that a point is also a circle. But then, how can we define that a point is a circle? Based on its definition, a circle, it has it has a diameter, diba, that passes through the center. Samantala, yung diameter na yun ang nagbibigay ng measure ng ating circle. Samantalang yung point, sa definition niya, it has no length. So, ibig sabihin kung meron diameter si circle, meron kang ma-identify na length niya. But then, kung i-compare mo sa point, kung titingnan mo ang point is only, it has no length, we cannot say that a point is a circle. Kaya sa geometry, it defines the point as an undefined terms. Hindi siya ma-identify or one of the unidentified terms. Because the stars that we can see at night, makikita natin silang point. Pero kapag lumapit ka sa kanila, hindi pala sila point. Kung hindi, isa silang malaking either sphere or circle. Kapag nakita mo sa telescope, they are not just a point. So, kapag sa malayo, ma-identify mong may point. Pero pag sa malapit, hindi pala siya point. That is why the point was one of the undefined terms in geometry. And use geometric proof to develop higher order thinking skills. A geometric proof. Okay? To develop your hats para ma-develop daw ang malalim mong ang tawag dito ang understanding mo, your deeper understanding when it comes to solving, especially kapag na-prove mo iyon. It will develop your understanding and yung sinasabi nating critical thinking. The patterns, okay? It recognizes and describes patterns relationship that changes among shapes and quantities. The use of algebraic symbols to represent and analyze mathematical situations. Okay? And represent and understand quantitative relationship using mathematical models. So usually ang ginagamit talaga natin sa algebra is the variable. So we represent this symbol into variable just to analyze the mathematical situation, just to give proof to the situation or to the problems, just to solve these problems. Naintindihan pa ako? Wala na yata ako estudyante. Hindi ko alam kung ako na lang.
Meron
Yes
pa
po,
po,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Nakukuha ba ako o tinutulugan na ako, class?
Nakukuha po.
Kuha po.
Weh, true?
Opo.
Yes po.
Baka wala kayong natututunan sa akin, sabihin nyo lang.
Meron po, ma'am.
Kasi baka ako lang nagsasalita ng salita dito. Baka isipin naman to, ano kayong pinagsasabi ni ma'am. Make sure ha, pag hindi nyo naman naintindihan, pwede kayo magtanong sa akin, ano? Kasi masakit na rin nalalamunan ko. Mahirap magsalita ng 2 oras ng dire-diretso. 2 oras na ba tayo? Isa't kalahati, ano? Okay. Actually, this data and analysis and probability is the application of statistics. You know already the statistics, di ba? We need always a proof. Okay? We interpret always the data, and then after we interpreting, presenting this, organize, or after we organize, we interpret, and para sa ganon, maintindihan at magkaroon ng solution sa problem na pinag-aralan that you conducted or sa isang research that was conducted. So we usually use a data analysis in terms of statistics. Kailangan there is always a representation of each data. Kasi ang data na yun ang magpo-prove sa iyong kinandak na study. May tanong pa? Before we go to these cognitive demands? Because we have still 6 pa ito. Bago tayo sa assessment. May tanong? Uy,
Wala
ba't
na
ang
po,
tamad?
ma'am.
Ang tamad
Wala na po,
sumagot. Parang tinatamad na kayo sa akin, ah. Basta't anuhin lang, pag ano, kasi mahirap ang ganito na ako lang ang nagsasalita na mag-isa, parang ako lang talagang ano. Kaya dapat, kahit papaano, ay magsalita kayo, ha? Okay, para magsalita kayo, I want you to share something with these 6 general categories under the proposed framework in a cognitive demands. Number 1, visualization. What do you understand when we said visualization? Ayan na, oh. Yes. Sino siya? Ayan na, ang ano, oh. Yes. I know who you are.
Bakay po.
Bakay, Miss Bakay.
Bakay po.
Yes,
Bakay
Miss
po.
Bakay.
Yun po, yung visualization po. Visualization po sa mathematics. Importante po siya katulad po ng sa problem solving kasi mas naiintindihan po ng bata kapag visual po pinapakita lalo na pag worded problem. So pag ganun po, mas madaling maiintindihan at masasolve ng bata kapag nakikita nila visually po.
Pag visually nakikita yung problem. Okay? Creativity and imagination to create images, pictures, and other means to represent and understand mathematical concepts. For example, sinabi mo lang na, oh, ito yung number of population ng bawat barangay natin. Merong 1,000 sa Aplaya, 2,000 sa Kaingin, ganon. Tapos, ano ba yung population? Iisipin ng bata, ano ba yung population? Diba? So, in that case, kailangan, pag sinabi nilang, ano ba ito? Doon pa lang nag-visualize na sila kung ano yung mga sinasabi mong population na iyon. So through this, pwede mo siyang i-represent into an image or picture so that they will understand kung gaano ba karami ang population na iyon. Tapos sa kanila maiisip, ito pala yung gaano kadami ang bilang ng mga nakatira doon, ang bilang ng mga taong nakatira doon. So, through the use of pictures, for them to understand it better, the mathematical concept. So, we use visualization. Number 2, knowing. Thank you, Miss Bakay. Anybody?
Ma'am,
Yes.
kasal
Mr.
Kasalme.
Kasalme.
Sa pagkakaintindi ko po sa knowing, before students solve a problem, dapat po may alam na po siyang basic concepts na mare-recall niya lang po para ma-apply niya po dun sa problem na isosolve niya.
Yes, meron na siyang prior knowledge and knowing, di ba? A student should have a prior knowledge to this topic. Hindi lang basta na-memorize niya or para sa ganon, ma-recall niya yung ano ang process ng solving ng isang problem na binibigay natin sa kanila. They should have to know about this. Next, number 3. Thank you, Mr. Casalme. No? You have 2 presentation for today, Mr. Casalme. Next, computing. Ito pinaka-importante sa math. Di ba?
Ma
Yes.
Miss Barrenuevo po.
Miss Barrenuevo. Miss Barrenuevo, Jerry, am I right?
Jerry May po.
Jerry May. Okay. Miss Barrenuevo?
Yung computing po, syempre mahalaga po siya sa math kasi po syempre mga numbers po kailangan po nilang computin para makuha po nila yung final results. Hindi lang po sa pagpa-problem solving, syempre po pag problem solving po, dun mo lang po siya isosolve, dun mo kukumputin yung mga number para makuha po yung final answer.
Thank you, Miss Barrenuevo. Okay, after you visualize and you apply the prior knowledge that you have, okay, now it's about time is to use your skills in terms of computation. It is ability to estimate, sabi nga niya, or to calculate the use of algorithms and determine the final results para malaman mo kung may kasagutan ba talaga dito. O hindi pwedeng sabihin natin cannot be determined. Madalang lang sasabihin natin ang cannot be determined kung ang sagot mo ay undefined. Katulad yung katulad na ginamit doon sa yung naging trending sa pag-solve ng 2x is equal to 0 yata yun. Trending na video ng DepEd. 2x is equal to 0. Tapos ang proof niya, x is equal to 0. Wherein ang dinivide niya ay 0. It's not the 2. So, yun. Sabi ko napaka obvious naman ng mali sa ginawa nilang iyon. Okay? Pero, at the end naman, ang sagot niya ay 0. Although, ang sagot talaga doon ay 0. But the process of solving, yun ang mali. Kaya dapat you should know. Kaya may knowing tayo. You should know the process of solving. Kahit na tama ang sagot mo dyan, you still have to prove by the use of computation. Okay? Next. Yan na. Solving. Anybody? You compute. Sabi nga, syempre pag nagko-compute ka, nagsosolve ka na nun. Diba? But this process of solving, yes?
Batino po.
Mr. Batino.
Opo. Siguro po sa solving, dapat ito po, isa rin po ito sa pinakamahalaga, ma'am.
Yes.
Kasi po, ma'am, katulad po sa mga bata ngayon, pag po nakakita ng fraction po, diba po?
Yan.
Matatakot na po.
Yes.
Matatakot na po agad sila doon. Kasi po hindi po nila alam kung paano po isosolve yun. Halimbawa po kung paano po mag-divide ng fractions, yung po, or mag-add po ng fractions, hindi po nila alam kung paano po ba yung gagawin dito sa sa equation na to, ganyan.
Kasi nga,
dapat po alam po nila yung paano yung gagawin doon.
They know how to solve the problem. They have a plan. Diba? They know how to solve. They know how to apply the procedure of solving. Kasi kapag hindi mo alam, kaya nga nauuna sa mga stages niya ang knowing before they compute. Then when they computing and they are now solving. Kailangan yung procedure na ginagawa nila in terms of solving, they know. sabi mo nga, ang pinaka-the best talaga na binigay mong example is computation of fraction. Ang fraction pa man din ang pinaka-critical na topic sa mga bata. Kasi kapag hindi, marami kasing maraming mga rules na dapat i-apply pagdating sa fraction. Kapag hindi natandaan ng bata ang mga rules na ito na ina-apply sa pag-solve ng fraction, talagang malilito sila. Meron pa tayong sinasabing like and unlike denominator. So kapag like denominator, just copy the denominator, then solve the numerator. Yun ang isang rule niya. Pero mag-iiba ang rule niya kapag unlike na. Kapag unlike denominator, kailangan kukunin muna yung LCD. Paano niya kukunin ang LCD kung yung prior knowledge niya, kung yung prior lesson niya doon or yung previous lesson niya about getting the common denominator or getting the common multiple, kung doon pa lang hindi na niya alam kung paano kunin ang common multiple doon. Diba? So dapat ma-apply niya lagi kung ano yung mga prior knowledge niya or previous lesson niya sa pag-solve. Kasi may mga iba't ibang rules lagi sa especially yung common denominator and unlike denominator na yan, ginagamit lang pala siya sa addition and subtraction. Pagdating naman sa multiplication, iba na ang rules niya. Pagdating sa division, iba na naman ang rules niya. Kaya doon pa lang, natatakot na ang batang mag-solve ng fraction. Dahil may iba-ibang application ng rules. Sa fraction pa lang yun. Paano kung lalagyan mo pa? Dadagdagan mo pa siya ng integers. Dalawang process na dalawang tawag dito, dalawang principles ang i-apply mo doon. Yung rules ng fraction, tapos yung rules pa ng integers. Di lalo nang susuko ang bata, manghuhula na lang siya ng sagot niya kapag ganun. Hindi na niya isosolve yun. Hindi na niya gagamitin ang sarili niyang knowledge. Wala nang critical thinking na naka-apply doon. Okay? So, next. Naintindihan yon?
Yes po, ma'am.
Opo.
Yes, may sumasagot na buhay pa rin
Apply.
sila. Okay. Applying.
Lorente po, ma'am.
Lorente, Mr. Lorente.
Apo. Yes po.
Okay, Mr. Lorente.
Doon po sa applying po, kaya po siya cognitive demands in mathematics. After nyo pong malaman yung mga concepts, yung mga procedures, then marunong ka rin po mag-solve. Pero paano naman po kung hindi mo siya ma-execute or parang hindi mo malalaman kung paano mo siya gamitin. So, kailangan po ng applying yung ability to recognize the situation na kung saan at kailan ito gagamitin, ma'am, yung mga concepts natin and procedures natin, lalo na sa problem solving po. Ayan po.
So, kailangan you need to apply all the learnings that you have learned previously. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lorente. Next, proving. Yes?
Cortez po.
Cortez? Mr. Cortez? O, sino yung
Yung sa proving po,
kanina?
ma'am.
Sige, Mr. Cortez, sige.
Yung sa proving po, ma'am, after po ng visualize, knowing, computing, and solving, hindi na po yung kapag nakuha na po natin yung final answer, hindi lang po natin masabi na ito na yung final. Kailangan pa po ng ng additional, kailangan mo po i-verify yung answer mo na tama po using proofs and theories po. Thank you po.
Like what? Like what?
Yung masama, especially po yung sa geometry, yung sa pag-using po yung yung mga postulate po, yung SAS, yung mga ganun po, yung SSS.
What about kung sa elementary? How will you prove?
Yung sa elementary
How will
naman
you
po,
justify your answer?
for example po, yung yung 1 plus 1 po, yung sa elementary. Hindi mo sasabihin na 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 lang po. Dapat if sasabihin mo rin po na yung kapag yung 1, dagdagan mo pa ng 1, is equal na po siya sa 2. Ganun po.
Ano nga yung klaseng proof mo doon? 1 plus 1 is equal to 2.
Yung
How will you
proof na po doon, yung using addition po. Yung using addition po, yung pagdagdag ng isa ay dadagdag po pag nag-add po.
Pero elementary yan, my dear. Tandaan mo ha. Elementary
Opo.
yan. Pag elementary, kailangan talagang meron kang proof lagi para ma-justify mo na ang 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin lang sa board or isulat mo lang sa board 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. But you have to need to show a model. Pwede mo sabihin
example po ng fruits. Kunwari po, kayo dala ka po apple.
Yes,
Tapos,
that's what I
sasabihin mo
mean.
na 1 apple plus 1 apple is equal to 2. Tapos papakount mo po sa kanila kung tama po yung sagot.
Yun ang ibig kong sabihin. Paano kung elementary nga, kailangan mong i-prove ng mabuti sa kanila. Kasi, kaya nga sabing proving. Sa pwede natin sabihin na, okay, prove na yung answer. Proven na yung answer ko because of these postulates, because we apply this postulate. Ganon, di ba? Okay, but the thing is, what if kung nasa lower level ka, how will you prove? Yun ang pinaka-importante lagi, to prove and to justify that your answer is true through the use of modeling. Okay? Through a model. Intindihan ba? Next.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay. The cognitive values naman. After the demands, the cognitive values that must be taught are the following. Objectivity. Okay. Any idea? Objectivity. Para hindi lang ako nagsasalita. Let me see, my students. Objective. The students should recognize the structure of mathematics and they will be able to develop the self-discipline in terms of math and also to evaluate the mathematical thinking and the strategies of others. O, diba? This is developing precision, sabi, and accuracy, as well as being able to relate mathematics to one's personal aspiration. Always relating mathematics. Yes. May I know who you are, my dear?
Arcelia po.
Miss Arcelia. Eliza May, am I right?
Po, yes po. Since subjectivity, since po math, parang po siya, parang supporting details po or parang magiging proof po siya para maging accurate po yung mga binibigay na data. Halimbawa po sa mga cases po na, kunyari, COVID cases po ngayon, nagre-require po ng parang accurate na numbers such na makukuha po through math, ganun po yung parang objectivity na
it requires an accuracy. Hindi ko, pasensya na Miss Arcelia, ulit nga ang sinabi mo, my dear.
Yun po, parang since po yung parang isa po sa values po yung objectivity, since parang yung math po talaga ang purpose niya maging accurate po yung mga datas na binibigay.
Okay, para maging accurate paano nga ba maging accurate ang mga datas?
Yan, halimbawa po sa mga statistics, para po maging tama yung statistics na nakukuha natin, parang kailangan po natin ng solving or kailangan po nating i-measure, which is mathematics po talaga.
Through mathematics. But then, yun nga, how can we say that the data is accurate?
once na ano po, kunyari po, na-assess na po natin siya, na-measure na po natin siya, pag lumabas na po yung outcome through measurement po, through solving, ma-consider po natin na accurate po yung data since naglabas po tayo ng mga parang nare-relate po natin sila sa math. Yun po.
Because of the data, because of the graph.
Opo.
Okay. Okay. Always remember this. Kahit ginagraph nila, pinapakita nila ang graph, kasi ang graph based pa rin sa data eh. So, i-interpret lang ang mga data through the use of graph. But then, how do we know that those data is accurate? How do we know that what they are presenting to us is true? Kasi sa panahon ngayon, dapat laging totoo ang pinapresent mo. Hindi yung gawa-gawa lang. So what we're going to do is to prove that those data is true and accurate. There is an accuracy from your presentation in your data. They always conduct a research. Diba? To conduct a survey. Kasi yung mga proof, yun ang mga proof mo. By conducting a survey, okay, through conducting a survey, you can prove that your data is accurate. Doon lang natin malalaman or mapuprove na tama at may accuracy ang mga data mo. Kasi you can be able to defend those data because you conducted a survey. Kaya nga sa research, lagi tayong magkakandak ng survey. Kasi yun ang magiging proof mo eh. Yun ang proof mo para mapatunayan mong totoo ang mga data mo, hindi lang siya ginawa-gawa lang. Kaya kahit every time na may research or may mga kinakandak na research, kailangan pa rin nating maggawa ng survey. Minsan naman, to prove that your data is accurate, you have to make an interview or conduct an interview to your respondents. So dapat your objective must attain for this. That is why through this objectivity, sabi niya, this stands for developing precision and accuracy, as well as being able to relate mathematics to one's personal aspiration. There is always an accuracy when it comes to when you want to prove and to attain your objectives. Okay? Next is flexibility and creativity.
Saya-saya po, ma'am.
Miss Saya-saya.
Yes po. Dito po, ma'am, parang we have to be flexible and be creative po. Example po dito kasi ang mga student po ay may iba't ibang learning style po. Mag-observe po kayo na parang kunyari kung hindi po effective sa mga student yung ginagawa niyo pong style ng pagtuturo, kailangan niyo po maging flexible tapos mag-iba po ng way of teaching. Tapos dito naman po sa to solve problems in various ways po. Siguro po kailangan mag-iisip po kayo ng iba't ibang way para mag-solve po ng isang problem. Example ko po dito yung parang expanding quadratic equation po. Meron pong iba't ibang way. Pwede po kayong gumamit ng FOIL method, pwede po kayong gumamit ng window method, pwede po kayong gumamit ng fold multiplication, ganun po.
Yes. Okay. So, hindi lang isa ang pwede mong gawin. Kailangan you have also do something. Kasi minsan, may mga process of solving tayo sa mathematics na hindi talaga kayang maintindihan ng bata. Hindi nila ma-reach yung process of computing mo or computation mo. So what you have to do is to present another way, in a simplest way, in a basic way for them to understand the lesson better. Hindi kung ano lang yung nakasulat sa libro, hindi kung ano lang yung process of solving na nabasa mo, yun lang ang ipe-present mo sa bata. Kailangan very particular ka pa rin for those students who are not actually good in terms of in mathematics. Naintindihan ba? Dapat meron ka pa rin other way to solve the problem that you presented to them hanggang sa maintindihan nila ang concept ng tinuturo mo. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Next, utility. Thank you,
Ako
Miss
po,
Saya
ma'am.
Saya. You have 1 point for that. Yes?
David po, ma'am.
Miss David.
David po. Mr. po.
Ay, sorry. Sorry, Mr. David.
Para sa akin, yung utility naman po, ma'am, para sa akin po, ayun po yung from the word utility, yung gamit po. Dahil po, yung as a teacher po dapat, meron po tayong objective, paano natin ituturo yung, yung math po. Hindi, dapat po, di ba po, pag ay tinuturo po natin yung math, hindi lang dapat natin natuturo kung paano masasolve yun. Meron din po tayo dapat objective kung para saan po yung math na yun. Tapos, yung doon din po ma-apply din po natin flexibility and creativity. Doon po dapat maging flexible para magkakaroon po tayo ng example at magkakaroon din po tayo ng creativity kung saan po ma-apply po natin siya sa ating buhay. Katulad po sa, di ba po, yung buhay po natin parang math po yan. Everyday po na po yung math. Ayun po yung ibig sabihin po ng utility.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mr. David. Okay. Sabi ko nga kanina, mathematics applies always in real life situation. It always exists every day, yung math. So, this involves recognizing the practicality and useful of mathematics in making sense of the world. To make it sense, para maintindihan, para makatch ka ng bata, you have to apply your problem in real life situation. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin ang 1 plus 1 lang is equal to 2. Hindi mo pwedeng idikta lang sa bata at isiksik sa mind niya na talagang ang sagot ng 1 plus 1 ay 2 kung hindi mo ito in-apply sa real life. Kailangan ipakita mo, eto yung isang apple na ito, binigyan pa kita ng isang apple, ilan na ngayon ang apple mo? Sasagot noon ang bata. In that case, na-apply mo yung concept ng addition or basic arithmetic into real life situation. The utility. Okay? Next. Thank you, Mr. David. Cultural rootedness. Ano ito?
Ma'am.
Yes?
Veridiano po.
Veridiano. Maria Johani?
Apo.
Okay.
Yung
This
sa
is your, pag ano to, may pangalawa mo na to, ano?
Okay, opo.
Okay.
Yung sa cultural rootedness po, ito po yung i-explain po natin sa learner yung nature po ng mathematics or ng subject. So, i-explain po natin bakit nagkaroon ng mathematics, hindi lang po para pahirapan yung mga estudyante, kundi dahil sa pangailangan po ng mga tao. So, for example po, kung high school yung tuturuan natin, sa high school po, tinuturo po yung sa civilization, pag-usapin po ng mga civilization. So, pwede po natin i-integrate yung history doon na sasabihin natin na bakit nagkaroon ng mathematics or ng math of related sa business dahil sa pangangailangan noong nagkaroon na ng mga kalakalan po. Ganun po.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Miss Veridiano. Okay. Cultural rootedness. Very good, Miss Veridiano. It says this is appreciating the cultural value of mathematics and its origin in many cultures. Okay. Always remember, may pinagmulan lagi ang mga topic natin sa mathematics. The right triangles, yung pyramid, nag-start yan sa Pyramid of Egypt, tama ba? We have a very rich history, kaya nga meron tayong mga mathematicians na sinasabi. So, kapag ang mga iyon na impart mo sa bata at napaliwanag mo, hindi lang siya basta pinag-aralan, but then meron siyang pinagmulan. Cartesian plane was actually formulated by René Descartes just because of this map. Pag sinabi mong gano'n, in that case, the students will appreciate mathematics and they will know that mathematics has its own beauty. And that is what we call the beauty of mathematics. Ganunin mo lang sila. Hindi mo pwedeng pahabain na ito ang solving ito, may reason pa ito. But then you have to prove to them na itong mga pinagmulan nito, na itong mga content natin ito, itong topic natin ito, our mathematicians was actually based on his or her study. Okay? Yung pagme-measure natin, pagme-measure ng ating ng area na ito, bakit nabuo siya, paano ito na-formulate? Dahil saka mo ipapasok ngayon ang history. Bakit kailangan nating malaman ang time? Dahil dati, pwede mo sabihin sa kanya, dahil dati, ang mga ninuno natin, nagbe-base lang sila base sa position ng araw or ng buwan. Ganun lang. Base lang din sa pagtilaok ng manok. So in that case, our mathematicians formulated on how to compute the time, kung bakit meron tayong 24 hours a day. So if you explain this briefly to your students, they will appreciate mathematics and they will realize the beauty of mathematics. Did you get me now? Okay. Thank you, Miss Veridiano. Next, introspection. Self-reflection yan na. That is self-reflection or metacognition is being able to think about one's thinking, which includes the ability to justify and verify the accuracy of one's work. Katulad ng sabi ko kanina, di ba? In the use of statistics, you need to verify the accuracy of your data. By what? How can you verify that these are all accurate, that these data are true? Through conducting survey. And another thing, how can you verify? How can you justify or how can you prove that 1 liter, yung 1 litro, ay ganito kadami? Because you have a mathematical device, yung measuring cup mo. Yung pag-measure mong iyon, yung through the use of these devices, you can prove that this measurement is accurate. That is what we call introspection. A self-reflection of metacognition. It is think about one's thinking. That includes the ability of justification and verifying the accuracy of, kailangan ma-justify mo talaga siya. Kaya nga sabi niya, the ability to justify. Kailangan mapuprove mo na tama yung ginawa mo. Okay? Kaya nga self-reflection eh. Did you get me? Doon, ang self-reflection na yan, doon mo marirealize, tama pala ito. Kasi because of this, dahil sa ginawa kong proof na ito, mapoprove ko siya na may accuracy or accurate ang mga data na pwede kong i-present. So kapag ganon, kayang-kaya mong i-prove kahit kanino at i-defense ang mga data mo. Clear? Maliwanag ba?
Opo.
Yes, ma'am.
Sino yung huli nating sumagot? Wala, no? Kay Miss Veridiano lang, ano? Ako na pala sumagot dito sa introspection. Okay, through that is module 1. That is what we called the concept or the framework of mathematics, the conceptual framework of mathematics education. Okay? So, I will upload na lang kasi mag-aano pa tayo eh. Sa bagay, meron pa tayong 1 hour, kayang sagutin ng aking ang aking activity for today. Wait lang ha. Okay, let me show to you the activity for today. Are you ready for your activity? Sumagot kayo. Nakangiti na naman kayo, natatawa na naman. Parang wala yatang natutunan, ayaw mag-activity. Okay, so bago kayo mag-activity, pag-usapan muna natin yung mga topic na tawag dito na ire-report ninyo. Nakalusot, ano? Okay, pag-usapan muna natin, ha? Let me see. Okay. Pwede siguro mag-partner na lang sa isa topic. Partner sa isang topic. Let me see sino ang gusto sa first topic natin. Kayo ang kayo ang pipiliin ko kung sino ang gusto niyong kapartner. Pero pag ayaw niyo, ako na ang pipili. Okay. Dito na tayo sa Unit 2. Underlying principles and strategies. This will be next 2 weeks. Sino ang report niya? Lesson 2. Anybody? We have just 3 tasks here. Constructive using in mathematics teaching, teaching for understanding mathematics teaching, and a daily scope of experience. Wala. Pipili ako ha. May listahan ako sa inyo eh. Nakikita niyo? Okay. Miss Almazor and Miss Amador for Unit 2. Anybody on reaction? Anybody on reaction? Talaga mga talaga. Anybody on reaction? Okay. Pag walang sagot sa mga sabihin, agree. Agree ang lahat. Agree ba? Kung mag-react ang dalawang tinawag ko, okay, Miss Almanzor and Miss Almanzor, Unit 2. The topic is all about underlying principles and strategies. Next lessons are constructivism in mathematics teaching, teaching of understanding in mathematics teaching, and the cone of experience. May mga stages ito. May mga first stage of learning, the cone of experience. Did you get it, Miss? Ito yung Miss Almanzor and Miss Amador. Next, Miss Garcia and Bakay. Topic, kasama pala sa Unit 2. The Unit 3 for Miss Bakay and yung partner niya, Miss Bakay and Miss Garcia. The Unit 3 or lesson Unit 3 is all about understanding cooperative learning structure. The CLS or cooperative learning. So we have the lesson 1 for Unit 3 is cooperative learning structure, CLS in mathematical teaching and how to apply the CLS in math teaching, production of classroom management routine and materials to be used during CLS. Madali lang yan ha. Madali lang mga topic ninyo. Next. Miss Barinuevo and Miss Batain ang partner. This time yung reflective teaching. Ninanote nyo? Nanonote nyo ba yung sinasabi ko?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay. Para ano ha? Next week, ano tayo? Research day. So, wala tayong meetings nun. May record ba ng ating ano ngayon? Pwedeng pasend sa akin para sa ano attendance natin? Sa ano? May nakapag-record?
Ako po, ma'am.
Ha? Thank you, Mr. Rente. Kasi para ma-upload ko sa aming ano ha?
Okay po.
Okay, thank you. And ayan ang topic sa Unit 4 hanggang dito. Nakuha ba? Na-upload ko naman to sa ating Google Classroom yung ating ano, yung syllabus natin. Kaya para kung sakaling hindi nyo natatandaan, pwede nyo tingnan ulit yung PowerPoint kong ito. Next, for inquiry-based teaching. Okay, yung 5 method na to yung evaluation, ano ba yung mga 5 natin, nakakalimutan ko yata Ang bilis ko makalimot. Nasishock kasi ako sa reaction din ninyo. Okay, basta